Previously on Slice of Life.
Going to the grocery store is definitely an adventure. Not a lot of selection. We had early on, there was a huge outbreak of COVID in our community, and we did not feel safe going out to eat, and it has just become kind of like second nature not to go out to eat. Hi everybody, I'm Melinda, and this is Chris. He's over there.
Hi everybody.
Hi. We thought we would share how we make our pizza today. So we're gonna get started. We have to do our yeast first.
And this is a pretty small kitchen that we have, so I'm gonna get out of her way. So
Yeah, but he's here, just so you know. It is us.
You'll hear me maybe babbling in the back over there.
So in our last video, you saw us at the grocery store, and we were just picking up things we needed to get through the week and some things that had been hard to find that we had finally found. So part of that is meal planning, which, you know, I don't have like a plan that I write down, but we kind of know. We have our faithful recipes that we go to, and once in a while we try something new. Pizza is one of our things we usually do once a week. It's usually a Friday or Saturday night thing because it's like a weekend thing. You order pizza, but so since we don't like to order out right now or eat out right now, we make our own. So it's Friday and it's gonna be our pizza night.
And we really like this pizza because it really tastes like Devani's pizza with that sauce on it.
Yeah.
The only difference is we don't use white flour.
Right. Well, there is some white flour in this recipe because we tried one that was strictly whole wheat, and it was a little too dense and heavy. This recipe calls for 1 cup of white flour and 2 cups of whole wheat flour, and it just does a lot better. Plus, we've tested it. We've had this recipe so many times, and it does not spike his blood sugar. So we feel like, yeah, once in a while, a little bit of sugar and a little bit of white flour is worth it because it tastes better and the texture's better. And this pizza really does taste like a pizza that you would get from a pizza place. It's really good. 1 package of dry active yeast. What you do is you put 1.5 cups of hot water. It needs to be at least 110 degrees. And you add 1 teaspoon of white sugar. And you stir it and you let it dissolve, and that helps the yeast activate. Then you dump your yeast. You just sprinkle it over the top, and you leave it alone for about 10 minutes. And while my yeast is activating, what I do is I turn my oven on and I let it preheat to 200 because your dough needs a warm place to rise.
Wow, look at that happy yeast right there.
Yep, we've got the yeast. It's like frothy a little bit. I don't know what other word to use for it, but now we add in a tablespoon of olive oil. Then we're going to do a teaspoon of salt. And kind of give it a little stir. Now we start adding our flour.
Let me get it.
I got it. I just need to move over here. Okay. Maybe you should get it because it's like really on there. Okay, so we do 2 cups. Okay, you can put my lid back on. When you stir, just sort of let it get a little wet. And it does not smell very good at this point. It smells very yeasty, so. But it tastes so good. Now we just are gonna add like 1/2 cup of the white flour at this point. And then I'm going to get the other half out. Okay, you wanna put the lid on that for me?
Yeah.
We're gonna mix this. just a little bit. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna turn off my oven and crack the door just a little bit so some of that heat can escape, because like I said, you don't want the oven to be too hot. You just want it to be warm and cozy. And I did just wash my hands very, very diligently.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. You know me with my germophobic tendency. And then you're going to just kind of tip your dough onto this. What the recipe says, you just work this other half a cup of white flour in. It's going to be very soft. It feels wet, and you just gently knead this flour into the dough. Soft, it you know, slightly firm but not hard. It'll just be a soft ball of dough. Here we go. The dough is ready. Now your next step is you're going to take a big bowl and you're supposed to oil it. A little bit in there, see, about that much. And I just rub it around with a paper towel. Okay, see, there it is. You get a clean dish towel and you put it over the top. And then you're gonna pop it into your warm oven. Oh, it's not even warm, it's just gonna be cozy. And now we wait for an hour. So while our pizza dough is rising, I have to cut up carrots because this is Sadie's #1 snack. She loves carrots. So I cut up, this is like a 2-pound bag. I cut up one of these. I cut the carrots into 3 pieces. And those are her snacks.
We used to give her chicken feed, but we can't find chicken feed anymore.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we did used to give her. We would buy chicken, they're called chicken paws in the grocery store, and I would clean them and cut all of the little toenail. It was just nasty. It was really, really disgusting to do. Trim all the toenails off and freeze them, and then she would get 1 frozen raw chicken foot every day, because the vet told us that that is like a really, really good source of what is it?
Of not the keratin.
It's really
Cartilage.
Cosequin.
Cosequin.
No.
No?
Oh my goodness.
I'm blanking too.
Yeah, me too. It's a really good source of things she needs to have very healthy joints and bones.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do it in the bottom splash screen. You know, down here.
You could get her knee supplement down. It'll be on there. Glucosamine.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, dogs do not absorb glucosamine the way people do. They need to get it from bone broth or like chicken feet or something like that. But the bones in chicken feet are very, very, very soft and fragile, and they are not a choking hazard. They will not hurt your dog. They won't cause any splintering and like intestinal. Like I said, our vet actually told us to feed her that, and we fed her those for probably 2 years, and now, thank you COVID, we cannot find them anymore. Okay, we're back, and it's time to take the dough out of the oven, and see, that's what it'll look like. And we have to flip it onto a lightly floured board. And this is when, if you're gonna make like 2 round pizzas, you would divide your dough, but we're not gonna do that. We make just 1 big rectangle shaped pizza. You just sort of roll it around. You don't knead it much. It's just to sort of reflour it a little bit. And then we put it back in the bowl, and it actually has to rise again. But this time it's just like for 45 minutes. So we put it back in our bowl, cover it again with the towel, and it goes back into the oven. Okay, we're just gonna roll it out to fit our rectangle shaped pan. This takes a few minutes and a little bit of patience because it's kind of springy and it kind of wants to shrink back into its original little shape. So just work with it a little bit, and it just sort of eventually will fit in your pan. Okay, I'm gonna show that I do have some muscles. I'm gonna open the pizza sauce.
Good luck with that. Oh,
I did it.
You're just really good.
I just wanted you guys to know that opening a Tupperware container, I can usually handle that. So anyway, here we go. We're gonna put the sauce on the crust.
And that's the Devani's brand of sauce there, right?
As you can tell, Devani's is Chris's favorite pizza place, and he hasn't been able to have it in a long time. So when we found the sauce, we started using this sauce because it just takes him back to his happy place.
Yeah, well, my mouth is already watering as soon as you open that. I love Devani's pizza, their calzones and their pizzas and stuff like that. But this is a little healthier version of it with the wheat flour, isn't it?
Yeah, the wheat crust makes it a little healthier, but it's still by far, this is not health food, okay? Pizza, like this, is not health food, but it is. If he were to eat pizza with white crust, his blood sugar would spike. But with the small amount of flour that's in this, he does pretty good. Ground beef, we just put that on. Oh, I just heard a weather. It's been raining for days here. I am so ready for some sunshine. Now I put the cheese. Just some shredded mozzarella. I love cheese, but I just think sometimes enough is enough when it comes to the cheese.
Well, there's those stuffed crust pizzas. Those are a little too much for me too, where you bite into the crust and there's cheese packed in the crust as well. So you're right. There's a limit to cheese.
And after the cheese, we're gonna add pepperonis. Or pepperoni. I don't know if you add an S or not. I usually don't.
I think it's pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Or like hippopotamus.
But we don't say I. We don't say pepperoni.
It's pepperoni, just like hippopotamus. The hippopotami.
It's pepperoni.
I'm not teasing. You know I'm teasing.
Okay, no, I didn't. Next, we're going to do some pepper strips, and these were the frozen peppers that we bought. But yes, that's just a piece of a green pepper on it. So we're just gonna put some pepper strips on it, some onions because we like onions.
I think that enhances the sauce. The onions do, personally.
Yeah. Sadie is just walking circles around us. She's ready for her dinner. Of course, she doesn't eat pizza, but
she does get a few scraps that might hit the floor.
Yeah, right now I dropped a little bit of cheese, and so she's having herself a cheese. We're gonna put a few of the jalapenos from our garden on here. Then we pop it in the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna have some pizza.
Yum!
Yay!
Woohoo!
And we have pizza. Now, and I did clean this area really well, and then we'll just cut it into squares, and then it's gonna be dinner time.
Yummy!
Chris has been waiting for this since we started the crust.
I think, what was that, 5 hours? 6 hours?
Seems like it, but takes start to finish, it takes about 2.5 hours by the time you get the crust all ready and risen, and then so yeah, just make it into squares, and then we have plenty for leftovers. Everybody loves leftover pizza, right?
They sure do. Yum.
And it's dinner time. And Sadie does eat at the table. Well, she has her dinner before we have ours, and then she enjoys a snack of carrots while we have our supper. So it's time. We'll see you guys next time.
Hi friends, I'm Sadie, and I think you should like this video. Click subscribe and the little bell too. That way you know every time my mommy and daddy upload a new video. Thanks!